See, and I knew you'd be cold because you're always cold.
I am cold this way. I turned on the heater as soon as I came in here.
Oh, did you want the fireplace on?
Yeah. Yeah, the fireplace always makes it warmer.
It's not a real fireplace, though, sweetie. I'm just saying.
Okay. Shh.
There's no actual heat provided by.
Shh. Don't ruin it for me. The camera's angled differently. You can actually see where I have my teeth. You can't usually see my teeth.
Did you want me to change it?
I don't care. Just the angle's different. I can see the window. Hello, people. My hands are really cold.
It's always cold.
People are seeing where they're from.
Where
really hope the Ducks can turn it around. What do you think, Shannon?
They don't have enough offense. The offense isn't there. The effort's there. The heart's there. I think Dallas Aikens is doing the best that he can. I don't think they have the offensively gifted players you need to turn it around.
Minnesota should be higher, like in the power rankings? No, sorry.
It's a gradual move up. Because the problem is
they've been doing better, but they were crap at the beginning.
If you have a power rankings that have dramatic shifts up, that means that if they lose 3 in a row this week, then they have to make a dramatic shift down, and then it ends up looking like a heartbeat when you look at it at the end of the year. And I had a power rankings that worked that way, and it wasn't much fun. There were times where I would tell Yvonne before I do the power rankings, I can't believe this team's number 1, but so I had to change how I did them.
True.
So.
What did you think of the Islander game today? A very Islander game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just posted the review. It was an Islanders game, and this time Pittsburgh wasn't able to win it. Put it this way: I don't think there was a whistle in the first 6 minutes. There also wasn't a shot.
That sounds super exciting.
So it was.
Gosh,
like I said in the review, game. It always feels like they've rented the rink and they're being charged by the hour, so they got to get out of there. So they're hurrying it up. Islander games are always the fastest games. When there's multiple games starting at the same time, the Islanders game is almost always finished first because there's no penalties, there's no goals, there's no shots, no whistles. Just get her done. Get her done.
Just finish this.
Yeah.
We got other things to do.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite NHL player as of this season?
It's hard not to cheer for Brock because Brock Besser was kind of left hung out to dry last year. And there were a lot of rumors about Vancouver wanting to move on from him, which I don't understand. I think he's got the best shot of any player I've seen since Bure that's played for Vancouver. So, yeah, right now Brock Besser would be the guy. But Bo Horvat's right there with him.
Did you get the new Capitals jersey?
Yep. That'd be the W.
I know what it is. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me what jersey they're talking about? Because I know what jersey.
The updated fixed Caps jersey. They went, all right, we like the Caps colors.
That was an ugly jersey.
But
oh my gosh.
The execution of the rest of it is so bad. So
that was one ugly jersey.
It was ugly.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Ottawa's goaltending situation this season, as well as Batherson and Sutzel's play this season?
Batherson's on a really nice hot streak. I don't know how good he's going to be at the end of it, but he's been excellent. Stützle. One of the best rookies in the league right now. I don't think he's going to end up with the Calder, but he's one of the best all-around rookies. Their goaltending, it's weird because Murray started out terrible, got a lot better. He's been better over the last, I'll say, 8 or 9 starts he's had. But behind that defense, your numbers are only going to be so good. That defense seriously has some problems.
Is he trying to corner her?
Right.
No. He's being a jerk.
You come up here. Come on. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you to let me hold you the way I hold the other cats.
She doesn't like to be held. Look at her eyes.
Look, this is how I hold the other cats.
She hates
they like held.
It. She hates it.
They like this.
No, is he torturing you? Oh, sweet kitty.
Okay. Down you go. Why don't you go back on your scratcher?
You go back in your scratcher.
Okay. Shadow, leave her alone. Come here.
Blocking her. Somebody asked if we'll go to Kraken games.
Of course. We won't be able to go to very many because driving in and out of Seattle is a headache, and it's...
We'll probably have to stay the night in Seattle just because, I mean, with Canucks games, we don't get home till like 11:30.
Yeah.
And that's a lot further. So it's kind of an ordeal, especially when you have 3 kids. So it'd be an expensive trip
Yes.
down there. So it'd be one of those, maybe
Sure.
we can go to a game a season. Did you go into Adelaide's room, maybe?
I think that either that or underneath the jerseys.
But, yeah. Oh, we'll be able to cross the border one day. You think that'll help?
By the summer.
One day.
By the summer.
What's wrong with Columbus?
Not their goaltending. Other than that, they don't play well against Nashville. They're 1-5 against Nashville now. There's, at some point they're going to have to look at whether or not Tortorella is the right guy to run that bunch right now. I think with Columbus, I don't know how much top-end talent there is there. Roslovic was a good pickup. Absolutely. Laine's a fantastic goal scorer, but I don't know if it's systemic. Like with Vancouver, it's just a systemic thing. But they're just mediocre. It's just an overall mediocre team. And I think Seth Jones has had a terrible season this year.
Why would we fly to the States?
No.
We'd like
I'm not going in an airport
not
right now.
be stupid, and we'd like to be able to come home. That's the important part.
You have to quarantine on your when you come back, and you have to pay for the hotel.
We want to come home.
It's like $2,000 for the hotel, so I'm not feeling that. And then the kids we'd have to have. No.
Oh my gosh, no,
that just wouldn't work.
No,
yeah, that wouldn't work.
Do you think Buffalo will ever get an NHL team?
Eventually, they'd have to wait until the Sabres are done. But yeah, Buffalo eventually should get an NHL team. I'm hoping to see one in Vancouver at some point too.
Why don't you like Duncan Keith? Shannon.
Have I even mentioned
Canada's
Duncan Keith in a video this year?
How is Canada killing us?
Well,
what kind of weird comment is that? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
We're quite alive.
The mayor is running around punching people in the face right now.
The mayor
Knock it off, mayor.
Mayor of Canada?
Yeah. Knock it off, mayor of Canada. Stop punching people in the face. Go home.
I don't understand.
Take your maple syrup and pack it up and go home.
What happens to the TV behind us?
At night it goes to sleep.
Channels. It turns off.
That's the one I watch all the games on.
Sometimes it plays video games.
Not lately. I haven't played a video game since the season started. I have not played. I've thought about it. I've thought, man, I'd like to play Gran Turismo. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I got to do treadmill. And then there's games. And so I guess I'm not playing Gran Turismo. So maybe by the time the next one comes out, which comes out next year.
What do you think about the Kings?
I like the Kings. I think what they're doing right now is good. I think that little mini series between them and Minnesota was fantastic. I hope those are the two teams fighting for that 4th playoff spot.
Their goalies always have awesome helmets.
Yeah, I like Peterson, and Quick seems to be playing like he's 10 years younger than he is. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed the Kings. This is the most fun I've had watching the Kings in about a decade.
Has Torts run his course in the NHL? It almost rhymes.
Yes, I will say this. If it doesn't work out in Columbus, I expect Tortorella to kind of walk away and probably end up on Sportsnet as a commentator, end up taking the job Brian Burke had.
THG, who's your favorite Jets player?
Scheifele. Ehlers is up there too, though. I love Nick Ehlers. That kid's fantastic. Kyle Connor's pretty good.
I was just going to say, there's so many fun
Connor is such a good forward.
That's why they're a fun team to watch, because they have a lot of
There's some elite level skill there.
Really cool.
Really elite level skill.
They're a fun team.
They are.
Why would I do a top 10 sexiest players video?
Yeah.
No.
Do a sexiest players video. And why is
that
it
is
me?
So
you could just have me the entire top 10.
That's totally the
just
kind
put
of
me
video
in a different,
I would do.
Different jersey each time. And just go out in the front yard. And
I'm pretty sure that's the only way I would do that video. Yeah.
Here's number 10, Shannon.
Yeah.
And I could be out there to Rangers jersey, and then I could put on like different jerseys.
You'd have to be 7. Doing your poses that you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that could work.
With actual NHL players, that's not something I would ever do. That's definitely not a me kind of thing.
No.
Because I'm a woman, right? Because I'm a woman, I totally look at all men and like, is he sexy? Because that's how all women think.
Some.
Because why watch hockey if it's not to judge how sexy men are?
That's why I watch it.
I know.
I just haven't published all my lists yet.
Yeah, no.
Sexiest player ever, Tim Hunter. Changed my
No,
mind.
I don't. It's not the kind of thing. See, Josh gets it.
Taylor would get it
What,
too.
what do you think about the Cats? Who's your favorite player?
You know, I would normally say Huberdeau, but this year, man, Hornquist is fantastic. Patrick Hornquist has been the perfect addition for the Panthers. Absolutely the most amazing run I've ever seen him go on. It's a perfect fit.
How does Toronto screw up getting into the finals?
If they are the team that comes out of Canada, the one thing that concerns me is that there may not be the defensive strategies in place. They may be in some bad habits, and whatever team they would face in the semifinals would likely have had a road against teams that had to play the defensive style. And in playoffs, usually the best defense. Usually, not always. If you look at the numbers, it'll tell you offense is really important, but the team that plays best defensively over the series will normally win it.
We need to tighten the skin. I just saw this moving as he was climbing up on it.
Yeah,
Can you
I don't know what
tighten
he
it
did.
again?
He doesn't want you to pet him right now.
I wasn't talking to you. What is your opinion on a potential Jake Virtanen for Denton Heinen trade with the Ducks?
I talked about that this morning in a news video. I don't think it's happening. And last night, Elliot Friedman said it's basically dead in the water. The Canucks would need to take on extra cap space because Heinen gets paid more than Virtanen, and there's no cap space for Vancouver. So apparently they sat down and tried to figure it out. There just isn't any money to make it work.
All women think. Does he think that makes him sexy? I don't understand.
It makes me sexy, right?
How do you fund these jerseys? Working all day, every day. Have you guys seen how much Shannon works?
And the collection's basically done now. So I'm very
notice-
proud that the collection is done. I'm finished.
Am I missing a super chat?
Collection is finished.
How do you think the Lightning will do in the playoffs if Kucherov comes back?
The Lightning have an excellent chance to repeat. I still think Colorado is the most likely Stanley Cup champion, but Tampa Bay is right there with them.
How does one get into doing what you do on YouTube? Working all day, every day.
Well, I mean, I was making videos in the beginning after work.
He was doing 2 videos
So
a
I was
day.
doing it for just something to,
Sense.
and then I just gradually started gaining subscribers. But you have to find a niche. You have to find that audience that's not being served on YouTube. At the time I started up, there weren't any channels that were covering all of the NHL. There were channels that were covering like Toronto or maybe Ottawa or maybe Vancouver, but nobody covering everything. And so I just covered everything, and I was lucky that I found underserved
different.
viewers. You need to find underserved viewers.
He's done videos on it,
Yes.
explaining how he got into it and stuff. But it's
Yep.
a lot of work. He was doing 2 videos a day, every single day, making like barely anything.
And
We
with
figured
Shadow-
out it was like $2 a video.
Oh, not even $2 a video.
Well, before, right, but eventually you got to $2 a video, and
I was making like $1.50, $2 a day, and I had people at my regular
I
job
remember
laughing
the
at me
$2 a day. Yeah,
because they were like, "Well, you just could have worked a day's overtime here, and you could have made like $200 for working a full day's extra." And I'm like, "Right, but I made that $2 not being here. I'd rather make the $2 not being here than $200 for working an extra day of my week." Thank you very much.
thoughts on how long Arizona remains a franchise?
It all depends on Mariuello, because this feels like this is the owner the NHL was waiting for, somebody with deep pockets who's a businessman. If it doesn't work with him, that's where the Coyotes would likely end up being relocated. But I think the NHL will give them a lot of leash, and I think we're at least 5 years away from even having the conversation of the Coyotes potentially being moved.
Do you think Yzerman keeps Svechnikov up after these 2 games? He seemed very composed.
Yeah. Yeah, Svechnikov's earned his way into the lineup, and I haven't seen from Yzerman that it's not a system where the guy who deserves to play plays. Honestly, it feels like Svechnikov's finally hit his groove.
Hold on, it was skipping over things. So
I know, it does that.
I did that one.
It does that.
I know.
It's okay. I trust you.
I know, but luckily somebody pointed it out. I don't always notice when it skips them. It doesn't tell me. Oh, wow. Somebody spamming the chat. Not reading that.
Aw.
Okay. All right. Why do you think Philip Forsberg was left off the untouchable list? Would Nashville actually move him?
For Nashville to move Forsberg, it would have to be an amazing deal. Like, it would have to be multiple assets, first round, somebody in their lineup, like right away, probably help elsewhere. Like, it would have to be a great deal. So for them to say he's not on the untouchables list doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't have to be a fantastic deal to make it work. Excuse me. And it doesn't mean he's going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Oh, somebody lost their grandpa yesterday. That's too bad. That's rough. Did I miss more of them?
What did you do?
Well, that one I hadn't even got down to there yet.
Oh, okay.
So, hold on.
I think you got everything above that one. I think you did.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, okay.
Do you think Torts gets fired soon? What's wrong with the Jackets? Why would Laine stay?
If Laine stays, it's going to be because Jarmo tells him all the things he wants to hear. And in terms of what's wrong with the Jackets, they were mediocre last year for large portions of the season, and then they went on a hot run, thanks in part to their great goaltending. Elvis has to either Elvis or Jonas has to go on a major run, and they're going to need some help. They also had a lot of overtime and shootout loss points last year. They're not getting any breaks this year.
Ekholm to the Bruins for a first. Moore and Vac.
It would take more than that. There's no way that Nashville would move Ekholm for that.
Hey THG, want to thank you both for helping to invigorate a love of hockey within this Minnesotan. Hashtag Kirill for Calder. Hashtag never forgive the Stars.
That's too bad because I like the Stars.
You do.
But Minnesota's a lot of fun to watch right now.
They are, which is a nice change.
And Kaprizov has a lot
really
to do
nice
with that.
change.
That line of Zuccarello, Kaprizov, and Rask. The fact he's brought Rask's career back is fantastic.
You think the Elves are only built to get to the playoffs or actually compete for the cup?
I don't know if they're gonna actually get out of the first round this year, but I do expect them to be in the playoffs, and I think that'll be good enough for them for now. They're good enough to get to the playoffs. They've got the structure to get there. They showed last year they could win a couple of rounds. I just don't know that they have what they need to actually win a Stanley Cup.
Lisa's not on here to tell people to not write in caps. Don't write in caps. It's obnoxious. I won't read the comment.
Why did you not tell
Won't
Lisa?
do it. I know. I could totally message her.
It's kind of late there, though.
That could be it.
Yeah.
She doesn't sleep.
You already asked me that.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm having to skip around because skipping everybody. Read that one.
Yep. So you're doing good.
No, I'm still behind.
Missed that
What
one.
is the main thing? No, I hadn't got to it. I didn't miss it. I'm just not there yet.
Yes,
what is the main thing that the Golden Knights need to improve on?
Just consistency, consistent effort, night in and night out. There are nights where it kind of feels like maybe Vegas expects to get the win, and they're not working as hard. I think that's why they struggle against Anaheim, because honestly, they should blow the doors off the Ducks, and they don't.
Who would you see as some goalie trade targets the Canes could trade for? I would say Thomas Greiss, since he would not cost much.
For the Canes for this year, it's possible that Bernier ends up being available from Detroit. He's a UFA this summer, and Bernier's playing some of the best hockey he ever has in his career. So if I was Carolina, I would at least see if Detroit was willing to listen to an offer on that. He might be had for a prospect and a draft pick. It might not cost you anything.
Skip it around. Really
Why did you
bad. Skip? No, the chat's doing that. Hold on. Getting back up to where I know. Okay, I got that one.
You got that one.
And then it skipped down to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
As a Habs fan, I love when you praise our boy Suzuki. Keep it up, Shannon. Thank you for all the hard work you're putting in to give us great content.
Suzuki's a fantastic forward. He really is. And he's young, and people still keep forgetting that it's only his second year. Don't expect the world out of him yet.
Been here since around 27,000. I gotta say, when I'm playing NHL 18, 19, 20, I always imagine what your videos would be like after my Be a Pro game where I averaged 3 PPG. Okay, hold on. I know he's had 3 games off, but after last Saturday's 7-1 win, Koskinen has turned a corner, right? Or was it just a matter of getting some rest?
Koskinen is so wildly inconsistent. I hope he's turned a corner. I do wonder if Mike Smith's taking the job away from him, though, because Smith has been very good.
Do you like Kopitar so far? Eichel trade to Kings?
I don't think Eichel's getting traded anytime soon. I think the Buffalo Sabres want to do everything they can to keep him because of what he represents to their rebuild. Kopitar's been fantastic this year. The time off really helped the veterans on the Kings.
Oh, Lisa is here.
Oh, there you go.
I knew she wouldn't be asleep yet. Are the Hawks for real?
We'll find out with their upcoming schedule. I'm going to do a video on the Hawks sometime this week. We'll see if I have time tomorrow for that. But I like what they're doing. I think they're very good. I think they're underrated. But we'll see when their schedule gets tougher just how for real they are.
Is John Hines the Preds' biggest problem, or is it something else?
Well, here's the thing. For Nashville, they've now won a couple of games in a row. They're up to 10-11. So there's not going to be any kind of change on that team, at least over the next couple of weeks. Hines, I don't know. I do not understand why they went from Laviolette to Hines. I will never understand that move at all. If they miss the playoffs this year, he's probably gone this summer.
Should the Avalanche pick up Stalock off waivers?
The Avs would be a good fit. The problem is then when Francouz comes back, then you'd have to waive him again. So for the short term, it would work.
So you can tell when Lisa gets here because message deleted. Yay! Now I don't have to see all the caps.
There you go.
What do you think of the Hurricanes, and is there anything we need to solidify us?
Canes are good. They got beat 3 times by Tampa, but Tampa's just an excellent team, so that's not shameful in any way. It's just a matter of they've got a young core, it's experience. They miss Mrazek while he's out. I think Nedeljkovic may very well end up being the answer for them because I don't think Reimer and Mrazek both come back next year. I think Nedeljkovic ends up being the guy. But we'll see. I think they're close, though. I really think they're close, and I don't think they need to do very much.
Shannon and his daughter are so cute. I haven't posted any pictures of you two in forever.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Forever.
Unless they mean the bunny.
I didn't post those yet. I need to post the pictures.
You haven't posted the picture of me with the bunny?
I have so many pictures. There will be pictures on the kitty's Instagram today. There will be pictures. The bunny had some fun time downstairs. She doesn't ever come downstairs, so. Okay. Thoughts on Zadina?
He had a good game today. He generated some offense. It's coming along for him. It's taking him a little bit longer than might have been expected, but I don't think they need to write him off just yet.
I have a reverse retro Jets. Don't you worry.
Yeah, that was an automatic. I made sure that I got that. In fact, if it's Jets or Vegas related, Ben automatically holds something for you.
I have a lot of Jets.
Right.
Vegas, I don't have any of the regulars. I have the reverse, and then I have the third.
Yeah, the gold one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who wins the Vezina this year?
I'd be surprised if it wasn't Vasilevsky, but in Chicago, you've got Lankinen having a very good year. There isn't really anybody in the North I can think of. I guess Connor Hellebuck, as the defending Vezina winner, should keep an eye on him and see if his numbers continue to get better. But it's going to be interesting because I think because you're only playing in your own division, you can make an argument for division awards more than league-wide awards.
Can Blues bounce back from injury, or will it be too late?
Oh, the Blues can bounce back from injury. They did it. They did it last year. I know we had the pause in between. But yeah, the Blues have shown they can play through injuries. I have no doubt that they can. I still think they should be top 3 in that division by the time the season's out.
Have you thought of doing a podcast?
I have one. I just haven't done a podcast episode in a while.
So they said like Steve Dangle. Okay. We've got emails about this recently. Shannon doesn't have any more time in the day.
I really don't.
Just think about how many videos he does every single day.
So like from 9 in the morning
That's
today
the time of the
until
videos.
now.
Then think about how much of the day is comprised of watching hockey games, which right now is a stupid amount. And then there's the time that it takes to prepare for a video, like the writing of the boards or looking things up, or afterwards the computery side of it. It's his entire day.
Yep.
He cannot fit any more in there. He cannot.
Well, I can if I stop seeing you.
Right. And I get very little of Shannon's time as it is.
Sure you do. I got it. I came into the bedroom at 12:30 last night.
Yes. Where I was trying so hard to stay awake. I was still awake.
Sorry.
Barely.
Sorry.
He honestly doesn't have time to add more. He can't add more leagues. He really can't. I don't see him as it is unless I'm down here.
Right.
So, no. Sorry, he can't.
I have a lot of jerseys from other leagues, but I really don't have the time. And this year, because of the squash schedule, there are literally no days without hockey between now and May 10th.
And most of the days is quite a few games.
Mondays,
Even
Thursdays, and Saturdays
days
are a lot now.
Like it used to be the light days could be 2 games. There's
Mondays,
very rarely
Mondays
only 2
used
games
to,
now.
like last season and most seasons, a Monday is 1, 2 games, maybe none.
Right.
And tomorrow there's 7. And we've got Mondays coming up in March that are 10, 11 games. It's insane. So I'm going to be having a lot of nights of not very much sleep over the next couple of months. But at least I've got some new pennants coming in, so that'll be nice.
Thank you for making videos, Shannon. I've been watching every day since Pens won back to back in 2017. You're the best YouTuber.
My first ever copyright claim was Pittsburgh celebrating 2016 when they went to Stanley Cup final, and all I showed was a little bit of the celebration on my television. Are you a millionaire? And they copyright millionaire. No.
Oh.
No. I'm not a millionaire.
Not even close.
I don't
man. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't have Jake Paul money. I'm not making Jake Paul money.
We live in a regular house.
I don't have.
We rent a regular house.
Yeah.
We have one vehicle, which is a minivan.
Yeah, because we're ballers. So minivan.
In our house, this is like our daughter's bedroom's right there. You can see this is not a large room at that.
It's not.
We live, just in a regular BC box, like most of the other houses.
Houses in BC.
Yeah. So
almost every house in BC has the same floor plan.
Definitely not millionaires by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
If you look at the number of subscribers,
Although I had to laugh. I saw a comment the other day on the channel from somebody who's older than I am, who saw that I had 181,000. He said, "Well, it's great you have that many subscribers, but I don't know why people would pay for this." I was like, "Wait, you think 181,000 people are paying every month for this channel? You think they're paid subscribers? Even if that was $1 each per month, 181,000. Hey, then I wouldn't be in this room. Then it would be like, me and Mike could be, working on the plans for a house.
If you feel like doing the math,
I'd be like,
you get about
Mike, if you see this, let's make that happen.
2 cents for each person that watches an ad.
I think there's land next to Mike's house where we could build a house there.
There's houses all around.
And then, we could just buy that land. And then
school?
Sure. And then what we could do is we could have like a giant rink that his house and my house would share. And we have this
like an underground tunnel. And there you go.
We could that'd be awesome. That'd be great. And we'd have like Team Buble, Team THG, and we could have hockey games against each other. That'd be great.
You two.
I would just coach and I could just yell at Lewis all the time. Smarten up out there. Jordan, you're in net. I don't care if you don't have any pads. You're in net. Have fun.
Offended being asked? I wasn't offended being asked if they're a millionaire. I think it's funny.
It's a funny question. It is.
I think it's funny that doesn't even make any sense.
I would have to be making
Senators
$100,000 a
playoff
month.
push?
That's not. The Senators won't make a playoff push. They're not going to be a playoff team, but they're playing the spoiler role well. Them and Detroit are both playing the spoiler role well.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you're all caught up.
Love your videos. Will Dallas catch Chicago?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Dallas is
bad.
So they win their first 4 games.
Canadian millionaire.
They win their first 4 games, and since then they're 2-6-4. So they've won 2 out of 12 since that 4-game winning streak at the start. I don't see Dallas doing it.
Yes, we're in Abbotsford.
Yes.
If you are Doug Armstrong, who do you lock in before Seattle drafts?
I've done the projections of who I think is going to get taken. I really think that for St. Louis, they're going to lose a defenseman. Most of their forwards are pretty self-explanatory as to who gets protected and who doesn't. I think it's going to be a defenseman they end up losing. And I know I did a video where I had projected who. I'm going to have to redo it again because obviously that's all changed now that we've had the season and been a lot of waiver pickups and other guys being signed and whatnot. But I would imagine that one of their good blue liners is going to go into Seattle.
Any chance Laine comes to Edmonton to reunite with Puljujärvi or McDavid's wing? RNH would definitely have to be let go, but it would be exciting. It would be ridiculous.
It is a possibility, but I don't know how much money Laine wants. With Laine, what he wanted from Winnipeg was more than they were willing to give him, so that's why he signed the bridge contract instead. He is looking to get paid. So if Edmonton picked him up, they might be in a situation where they're like Toronto, where they have so much money locked up in 3 or 4 forwards that they don't have the money to really round out the rest of the team. And so, yeah, I mean, as tantalizing as that might be, it might hurt the Oilers later on down the road.
Any cryptocurrency investment? No.
No.
I used to be a financial security advisor, so no.
No.
Wait,
No.
You're my sugar daddy? How
God,
does that work?
Don't know, because when you met
when
me,
we met, we were really
broke.
poor.
I was broke. I lived over a pizza place.
Really
with my 4 cats.
Poor.
And
I was getting food from the food bank because I was a single mom of 3 kids.
I could afford
yeah.
food.
Barely.
I could get like a jersey a month, maybe.
Maybe. If it was on sale.
Yeah, everything I got was on sale. So I would get, and if I got more than one, then I'd like have a social media post like, look what I got. I got 2. So yeah, when we met, yeah, no.
You'd be a crappy sugar daddy.
I would have been a crap sugar daddy when we met.
I'm just thinking our first date.
Oh God.
That's not how that would go.
No. No.
Okay.
You bought the tickets.
I did. I did buy the tickets.
You picked me up.
I drove.
I don't even think I bought a T-shirt at that concert.
No, because we didn't have money.
Yeah,
neither one of us had money.
And we had no money.
Because you even mentioned it. You were like, I feel bad, but I was like, I can't afford it.
Wow, I was a crap sugar daddy at that point.
Right?
And you had to drive me home.
Man.
And yeah, that was epic fail. Really, really was.
That was a great first date, though. That's the best first date ever. Yes.
I've had better.
Did you really? Really? Tell me about your better first dates then, Shannon.
I see. The thing is, so back in 1812.
Whatever. Okay. Anyways, skip back to this. Okay. Price's past year's struggles seem to stem from overthinking a lot of plays, getting out of position, expecting the cross crease, for example. Do you think he could benefit seeing a sports psychologist?
Most goaltenders go through these struggles, and sometimes that's what they need. Jake Allen, his understudy right now. Jake Allen's gone through plenty of them. I know Cloutier in Vancouver, there were points where he had those problems too.
Darn it.
Yeah, for Price, it'll be interesting to see what they do because clearly something is off with him. It seems to happen every year. Sometimes the city's being overplayed. In this case, this year, and he's talked about it, how there's something that's just off.
Why are people offended by women's hockey? Some men are insulted by people that don't have a penis. And it makes them feel less of a person if somebody without a penis can do things. It's hard. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Anyways.
Oh my goodness. Did you see that it stuck and then
the chat froze and then it dropped all the way.
It won't go up any further. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm missing any super chats. It's not letting me scroll up any further.
We can't move to a different province.
Why would we move? I like where we live.
BC is very expensive.
It is. But I like where we live and we have 3 children. We can't just decide to move.
Right.
It does not work like that.
Right.
With a rink that big, you could play bandy.
I think I should talk to Mike about it. Say, look, what do we have to do to knock down some schools and stuff?
Who's the next coach to get canned?
Honestly, Travis Green should be the one that's got the hot seat. I'm getting the feeling it might be Torts. Might be Tortorella in Columbus. That might end up being the one.
Do you think Kyrou will be even more impressive in the second half of the season?
I don't know if he scores as well as he did in the first half of the season, but Kyrou is always an impressive player. So I expect him to continue that development.
How about them Thrashers? 10 years unbeaten.
I have all the Thrashers jerseys.
They have such pretty jerseys.
They do. We'll never see them on the ice again.
I know.
Winnipeg will never do it.
Darn.
Never happen.
Just embrace it. They're beautiful. Do you think the Penguins need to change coaches?
No, but with a brand new GM, I would be very surprised if they don't.
Why are the Devils so bad and what fixes them?
A lot of inexperienced young forwards, and experience is what fixes that. Their depth on the blue line probably could use a little bit of work, and a reliable backup to Blackwood as well. So it's just growing pain stuff. So
you need to give Lisa a raise. She's deleting so many comments tonight.
All right, I'm going to take 10% off what I'm paying her, and I'm going to give that to Lisa. Done.
How do you pronounce that? Miller, the key to Boston's success, considering the last few games. Also, how do you like Nick Ritchie?
Ritchie's playing much better this year than last year. I was not a fan of Ritchie last year. Last year, he cost the Bruins a game or two there. Ritchie's been really, really good. Keandre Miller has been excellent for the New York Rangers. Fantastic young defenseman. Probably the future of that blue line, along with Adam Fox.
Okay. How do you watch all the games and keep such in-depth notes on each game?
Flipping channels. I'm constantly flipping channels. She can't watch with me.
No.
Because it's constant.
I do not watch hockey with Shannon.
The longest I'll watch any one game is maybe a minute and a half, and then it's switched. There's a whistle there going here, whistle here going there. Power play, all right, I'll watch the first minute of the power play here. That power play looks ineffective. I'm going over here. Going there. Because if I had 6 TVs in here, I wouldn't be able to watch. My brain would melt down. It wouldn't work.
He's awful to watch hockey with, so I don't. I watch on a different TV because
I don't blame you. I wouldn't watch with me either. It'd be terrible. It'd be obnoxious.
The only time I watch hockey with him is if there's only one game on, or we go to a game.
I haven't watched a hockey game like a regular person, other than in person, for over 3 years now. So.
We don't like weeds. They're obnoxious, and they take a lot of time pulling them out of my garden. They really try and take over, especially the peas.
I thought you loved peas.
I do. I don't like the weeds that grow in the garden. I have to pull them out, and it just takes a lot of time. So that's obnoxious. What do you think of the Leafs so far this year? Do you think they are just good in the Canadian division, or are they different this year?
It reminds me of what Mark Bergevin said about the Canadians, that he really can't evaluate how the Canadians are because it's just against their own division. I think the Leafs have been very good. They're the best team in Canada. No team in the Canadian division's won a Stanley Cup since '93. So, I mean, they're excellent in the Canadian division. They're doing what can be asked of them right now. The win last night without Matthews was very good. We won't know how good Toronto is until they reach the semifinals. If they get out of Canada.
My Flyers are now 11-1-1 against teams not from Boston. Thank God the Bruins are going back to the Atlantic next year.
Yeah, Philadelphia is really good against Boston. They're not. And it's weird. It's a video I need to do too, where team records look really good or really bad based on who they're playing against, and it is bizarre just how dramatic those shifts are from one team to another in the division.
How much hockey do you play right now? None.
None.
When it's not pandemic, you play a lot more.
We have street hockey and floor hockey meetups during the summers of non-pandemic.
About every 3 weeks.
Yeah, and this summer, if things are back to some sort of normal, I want to have it every 2 weeks.
And then our kids were in hockey, and that was once a week.
And because I'm on the treadmill all the time, I want to do it every 2 weeks. I know I can do it. I don't have to worry about being sore the day after.
That's true.
So yeah.
He just wants to show off his legs.
No, I don't wear shorts when we do these. So no, I'm not. That's
did I miss a super chat? So really, again, I apologize if I missed super chats. I don't know if the chat does the same thing for you guys.
It freezes
but
up.
It freezes and then it skips to the bottom. So then I have to scroll back up to try and catch them, but then it doesn't let me scroll all the way up.
Yep.
It's obnoxious. Does this job ever feel like work? Is it the dream?
It is the dream, and there are days where it can feel like work. There was a members video I did last week where I admitted there have been days this year where I'm thinking, it would be nice to go out and do something, or maybe watch a movie with Yvonne. Or
we don't get to watch movies this time of year.
Yeah, this is just reality. That's how jobs work, and so yeah, it is the dream. This is the best job I've ever had, but there are days where I probably wouldn't really want to watch hockey that night, especially some of the nights where it's starting really early and it's ending really late. So
like yesterday.
Because sometimes it feels like I've got to sit through all the Lord of the Rings movies again today. That's kind of the way that I put it. Like, oh, it's the director's cut day today. Oh, goody. So that's kind of. But once the hockey starts, I'm just taking notes and I'm fine.
After finding your videos a few years ago, Vegas playoff run, got really into hockey, got my top 3: Dallas, Montreal, Anaheim. Link Corey Perry.
Yeah, when I got into hockey, there was always links between teams that I cheered for and then new ones I picked up, like Vancouver to Boston. Made perfect sense in the 80s, far more than it does now.
Again. Oh my god!
Why did you freeze it?
It freezes and then skips to the bottom.
Why did you freeze it?
Then I have to try and see what I missed.
Well, we do have almost 1,000 people in the chat, so clearly that may be part of the problem, that there's just so many messages.
I wish YouTube had a better system that I could actually see them.
I know.
And if I can put it to where I only see super chats, or I see all the super chats, but it doesn't do all of them. It only does like $5
at a certain amount. Yeah.
All the $2 ones, it will not show me. So that's why I have to try and scroll through. Did you get all your reverse retros? Take care from Tampa. Go Bolts.
I did. And then a subscriber sent me the championship patch for the Tampa Bay retro reverse jersey.
Oh, that's fun.
And then my maid put that one on the jersey. So, well, clearly you didn't, because you're forgetting that you put that on there last week. So,
well, I know. I didn't know a subscriber sent you that.
Yeah. I told you when I got it.
I probably wasn't listening.
And that's the successful, happy marriage. Just don't listen. That's what keeps a marriage fresh, because you always learn new things because you didn't listen the first time.
Hey, I didn't know that. That's cool. It's a good story, Shannon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think the Devils should trade Kyle Palmieri and or Vatanen. Your thoughts?
Well, they just got Vatanen back and trade Palmieri. We'll see. I mean, it would depend on the market. If they did decide to trade Palmieri, this would probably be a bad time in order to do it because of the market being as it is. If they were going to make a move like that, wait till the offseason. I don't think there's any rush to make any big changes in New Jersey right now.
Is Chicago finally good again?
I will say yes, but we'll see over the next 3 to 4 weeks as their schedule gets really difficult, just how good they are.
Wait, somebody's calling Lisa bro? They'll call her bro. No,
bro.
I don't think she would appreciate that. I don't like being called bro.
Dude.
So
dude.
Who gets the 4th spot in the Central? Very good reason.
Yay.
Do you think the Rangers will reach championship potential with David Quinn or another more experienced coach?
When they reach the point where they're headed for a championship, I don't think David Quinn's the coach anymore. I think by then they'll have moved on.
For those wondering, I can actually see everything that any other mod deletes, I can still see it. So
Because she's got special powers.
I do. I have like the supreme powers. Okay.
Well,
it's
I don't know
skipping
about
around.
Supreme.
Supreme.
I don't know about that.
Okay, hold on. It's skipping around again. Do you think the Rangers will reach championship potential with David Quinn?
You just asked me that.
Did I really?
Yep. Now you're forgetting what you said.
Yep, because
forgot, yeah.
I'm just reading it and not even like I'm saying it as I'm reading something else.
She didn't even listen to my
Already moved
answers
on.
either. She just waits for me to shut up and then ask the next
Yes,
question.
That is true. Because I'm trying to read. Yes.
I'm gonna have to start testing that theory.
I really don't listen to what your answers are. I
Start
really
talking
don't.
about aliens and stuff.
Okay, but no, because see, your tone of voice changes, and I can pick up on that really easy. So no, is Marc-Andre Fleury the top contender for the Vezina right now? And if not, who would it be? And what is your top 5?
Fleury's going to be in the running. I still think Vasilevsky could end up being the guy to beat. Hellebuck, being the defending Vezina winner, is going to be in the running. Outside of that, it's possible Blackwood gets a look in New Jersey because Blackwood's the only reason New Jersey's any good on many nights. Top 5. I don't see any out of the North. I can't think of any out of the North. Maybe Jonathan Quick comes out of nowhere and Jonathan Quick ends up getting some votes here and there because he did have a couple of shutouts over the last couple of weeks.
He's said a lot better, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we see Mo Cedar in Detroit this season?
I would be very surprised if he doesn't at least get a look. Come over, sign a contract after their season's done, and at least get a look for a few games. See how he plays.
Do you interact with other sports YouTubers like 5 Points or You're an 80 Tree? Would you be interested in doing it?
Doing a collaborative video.
Yeah, okay. Would you be interested in doing a collaborative video?
I've never done a collab. I can't see it. I know it's a headache. I've seen YouTubers talk about the nightmare scenario. Tree and I, we follow each other on Twitter, and every now and then I'll make a post kind of digging at him about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because it's funny. The Steelers thing is really funny because Ben Roethlisberger's going to play there for another 10 years, and they're still going to blow it in the playoffs, and his meltdowns are going to be epic. But outside of that, I don't really have a lot of interactions with other YouTubers. Closest I think I get is that I follow Emma Blackery on Patreon, and every now and then I'll chat with either her. There's a couple other YouTubers I follow, but they're not hockey YouTubers, so that's the weird part.
Why don't you make more predictions?
Because I don't see much point. I like the predictions thing. Honestly, and especially this year, it's so wildly unpredictable that I can't see it. I can't see myself doing the predictions either for next season. I'll still do this like season previews and stuff, but for actual like big predictions.
Well, and when he does, then if things go differently, then people were like, see, look in this video, you said this and you were wrong. Yeah. You don't know what you're talking about.
So if I'm right, people won't say anything, but if I'm wrong, I'll get trolled about it for years. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. It's basically not really worth the headache. I'm better off just doing list videos.
On a scale of 1 to panic face on the panic index, how panicked should I be as a longtime Sabres fan? Love all the content. Keep
it. God. Between Buffalo and Vancouver, I'm not sure which franchise is in sadder shape. The good news for Buffalo is Kevin Adams is new to the job, and I think he's going to build this team up. It's just going to take a while to undo the damage Jason Botterill did. And that's the real trick for Buffalo.
Why not do a video about surprises from each team thus far?
I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to do a 31 teams, 31 players video this week. I may end up doing a couple. There's a couple I have in mind. One I want to do is who the hell is this guy? And talk about 31, like one player on each team that if you're just casual and you don't know, you may not know where he came from. Like for the Rangers today, I made that offhand remark about Colin Blackwell. I know who Colin Blackwell is. I know where he played last year. But for casual fans, might be like, where'd the hell did this guy come from? So I may do that with a player from each team.
Hey, Shannon, love your work. What do you make of Pavel Zacha's breakout in New Jersey? Do you think it's sustainable? Thanks.
Yes. Zach has always had the talent. It's been a matter of finding that consistency. And again, it shows why you don't just label guys busts in year 1 or year 2, because it may make you seem kind of silly later on. Not every player develops that quickly.
Ducharme?
Ducharme.
See, well, that's those letters
It's
next
French.
to each other
Ducharme.
but I am having trouble seeing what letters those are.
See,
Junior
you're
track
lucky I speak
record
French.
is no, you don't. Pretty good. Do you think he keeps the head coach job after this year?
Bergevin fully believes in him. I think if Bergevin's still the general manager, yes. If the Montreal Canadiens fail and Bergevin's out, then it changes. Guela bark bark. That's where's the dog in
He tried
French.
teaching that to Adelaide today.
Bark
Mom!
bark is French for dog. I don't understand why they don't. Maybe you speak a different dialect than I do.
Really, that's the kind of things he teaches their daughter.
And bok bok is chicken.
Yeah, that's how this morning went.
Yeah.
Which Arizona Coyote hat broke your heart because it was sold out? Show it to your subscribers in case we can find it. It had the wasn't it the lizard on it? It goes with the reverse retro, but it's not the. At least it's not a bully. She just doesn't put up with crap. So, yeah. Oh, man. It froze again. I don't know what is up with the chat today, but it's worse than normal.
Because there's more people than normal.
But
So
it doesn't usually do
it's a
this.
purple Space Coyote hat, but it's got the desert here, and it's got the secondary on the front, so it's got that gecko thing on the front.
Oh, right, because it matches the hem.
Yeah. And it looked fantastic. So I have this one, but I needed that other one. And it's on the Arizona store, but it's $40. Right. I came upstairs and told her immediately. I was very sad.
$40?
American. But it's worth it because
American?
Space Coyote. So it's worth it.
With shipping and duty, this is like $100 hat.
Don't think about it that way.
Canadian.
Don't think about it that way. I don't tell her how much I pay for any of this stuff. I say, hey, look what I got a new hat. And I may have 4 other reverse retro hats coming. Because some of them match other jerseys too. So
I would hope so. I hope they don't just match one jersey.
This matches everything. We're going to get remarried someday, and I'm going to be wearing this.
Remarried.
And only this.
I'm not wearing the ducks again.
We're going to get married in some tropical location. I'm just going to be wearing the hat.
Oh, we get to go somewhere tropical?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
An island all by ourselves, because that will always be okay.
Anywhere.
Yeah. They'll just drop us in the middle of the island. It's going to be called Naked and Afraid. That's the only way you're going to be allowed to get married anymore. Naked and Afraid. Which is how you spend most of your marriage anyways.
What are you talking?
It works.
Okay. Anyways. See, and now Lisa has to deal with that comment section.
Sorry. Another 10%.
Do you think the Florida Panthers players and coaches are thinking Stanley Cup this season? How far would they have to go for you to consider their season a successful one? Go Cats.
Get out of the first round. The fact they haven't got out of the first round since 1996 is a major problem. Get out of the first round, and then you can build on it.
What do you think about Dylan Holloway?
Very good prospect. Probably ends up in Edmonton's lineup next season.
Oh,
I get what that says. The Sens got Hoffman again with the Galchenyuk trade. Kind of,
okay.
sort of, except they didn't want to keep Galchenyuk, so I don't think they're worried that he's in Toronto. Did they get less value for him than Carolina did? Probably.
What's your favorite hockey day? Draft, FA opening, Stanley Cup awarded, etc.
Free agent day. I love free agent day because that's the official starting point of the following season. So it's great.
Did you watch the Scotties?
Yep.
A little
I
bit.
watched parts of it.
Yeah.
I watched parts of the
With
Scotties.
so much hockey, it's kind of hard to watch.
I think Rachel won it. Rachel Holman. I think she won it this year. She was leading when I last saw.
No, we didn't get watch. We didn't get watch very much compared to normal. We normally watch quite a bit of it. But
there was one team there that was all teenagers. I'll be right back. One team was all teenagers.
Oh, somebody's asking if you'll ever go on Steve Dangle. They talk. That's one of those one day it could happen thing because they do talk to each other. Well, that I don't think it. See, some of these I don't think would help if I read them at all. Yeah. Oh, it froze again. Do. So how's it going? Which of Shannon's jerseys are my favorite? Well, most of my jerseys are my favorites. Most of the jerseys he has that are my favorites, I have one as well. So, have I been watching the Great Canadian Baking Show? Yes.
Isn't there a new episode tonight?
Oh, it's Sunday. Yes, there's a
new John Oliver too. Our evening is spoken for. And
I like that the CBC has been putting out one of the recipes each week, which is super fun. And that episode that they had the bundt cakes, I might ask Shannon for a new bundt pan. And I made a bundt cake today.
I got you extra bundt pan, and I got you buntlets. And then I talked to Megan from the first Great Canadian Baking Show. She was first season, wasn't she? Or she was second season? So I talked to her and I showed pictures of my wife's buntlets, and then she's like, "Oh, now I got to make a bundt cake." So that's kind of weird.
Bundt cakes are great. Because
the best part was I was talking to her. I told her I respected her because she didn't swear on the show, and you could tell she wanted to. I said I have to watch my language too, and she said, "Oh, what do you do?" And I thought, "Oh, that's so sweet. She has no idea who I am." Cool.
Of course not. Okay. Do you think Anthony Mantha could be a one on the trade block? If so, what teams would be interested in how much of a return would Detroit get?
Right now, Mantha's value would be lower than it should be because he has had a nightmare season defensively. I thought tonight in the Chicago game he played a little bit better. In the offseason, I could see him being moved because Yzerman's going to want guys who play really well at both ends of the rink because that's what they had in Tampa. And so Mantha's got fantastic skill, but the defensive game he's going to have to work on, and I think they may have to sell low on him.
I made my shirt. I didn't get it anywhere. I made it.
Yeah, you did.
So, yeah.
Made me the jerseys, too.
I did not make him jerseys, but other than that, most of my clothes that I wear, I've made.
Yeah, good job.
Which player on the Sens have exceeded your expectations?
So far this season, exceeded my expectations. Nick Paul has been fantastic.
Oh, goodness.
Connor Brown again this year has shown that he's a very solid, very good player. And Zub is getting better with every progressing game. So he started out kind of like a fringe player. He's getting better every game, and he seems to be getting more time. I've been negatively surprised by Hogberg. I had expected Hogberg to push Murray for more starts more than he has.
Do you think the Cats will be top playoff contenders?
They're one of those top three in the Central. I think with Tampa, Carolina, and Florida right now, it looks like it's going to be down to those three right down to the wire. And finally, Florida's playing important games, and they look like they're legit for the first time in a very long time.
Ron and Elliott talked about this new Top Shot thing the NBA is doing with selling virtual player moments as a new form of collectibles. They think the NHL will do that too. Thoughts?
It's weird.
That's weird.
So basically, I would buy a moment in a game, and it would be watermarked in a unique way, so it's mine. And then, like, I could sell that on a secondary. It's a video. It's like a little mini video, and then it's got my name on it, and then I can resell it later. So there's ones in the NBA that have been selling for thousands of dollars. The NBA's made millions of dollars on this idea. So the NHL is looking at it. Well, it's sort of like, like let's say McDavid gets a goal and it's his hat trick goal. Well, you pay for that video of that moment where he gets the hat trick goal.
Look up that goal on YouTube and watch it?
Yeah. Not on my channel. That's copyright.
Right, but we've looked up goals and stuff.
Uh-huh. But you own it, and it's watermarked that for you specifically. It's like it's a blockchain kind of thing, and
I don't get it.
It's weird, but it's for the youngins. It's not for people our age.
Yeah, I think I might be too old to understand.
Absolutely,
this silliness.
yes. Yes.
Playoffs will be crazy this year, but very interesting.
Yes, because when teams meet in the semifinals, they will not have seen each other all year. That is a first.
I'm convinced Canadians are playing a different form of hockey. So.
Oh, it's pond hockey. But over the last couple of weeks, we've seen teams in other divisions doing that too. Last night's St. Louis San Jose game, that was bloody ridiculous. That was just
that was so weird.
I've never
just silliness.
That was insane. So
do you think Don Waddell will give up a lot so Francis doesn't take a good prospect in the expansion? Also, are you excited for AEW Revolution?
Yes, AEW always puts on a fantastic show, so I'm anxious about that and see if maybe some big surprises show up in that, which I think probably will happen. As for Carolina, they're a team too that I think probably loses a defenseman in the expansion draft. But I don't think Waddell's going to stress himself too much about it, because when we look back at the expansion draft in 2017, there were teams that overpaid to make sure they didn't lose certain players when they would have been better off just losing those players. So I don't think Waddell's going to panic. You can only lose one player, and I think it'll probably be a defenseman.
What do you think of Minnesota this season?
They're fantastic. This 6-game winning streak and
better.
That line. I've mentioned it earlier in the live stream. I mentioned it again. Kaprizov, Zuccarello, Rask has been fantastic. I never thought I'd see the day Victor Rask was fantastic offensively, but Kaprizov has resurrected his career. It's been fantastic.
They aren't painful to watch anymore. That's great.
It's exciting, and Kaprizov is a big part of the reason for that.
Found the hat he was looking for, and I ordered it for you. Should it go to their U.S. box, or can I ship it to the Canada? We have no access.
We haven't been in the States in a year.
That's awesome. How did you find it though? Shannon was looking like internet scrounging, but we have no access to our American postal box.
Nope.
I have somebody picking it up. We have a lot of mail in the States.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, it's going to take multiple trips.
We have a year's worth of mail in the States, but we have no access to anything in the States. So one day when the border opens up again, it'll be like Christmas. Like actually, because we had stuff that we had ordered for Gabriel's birthday that went to the States.
We had stuff ordered for our trip to Vegas.
Yes.
Last March.
So
tomorrow's March. We had stuff for that trip to Vegas.
I know.
It's been a year.
It's almost been a year since we've been to check our mail.
You didn't check the mail in March? I did.
I checked it the Monday before.
Everything closed
closed on Friday.
Because we went to the Islanders game.
Right. And then it was the next day as I was driving home that it was, this is closing, this is closed, this is closed. And I was getting messages and we don't have this and we crap. And I was going to go check the mail the next day because we were going on our trip in a couple days.
Yep.
But I had checked the mail on that Monday.
Yep. So I have jerseys in the States that,
So that was like
get them.
The 8th.
Yeah, I can't have those jerseys.
March 8th, I think was the last time I was in the States.
So, and I'm sure there'll be some that I get and I go, oh, I forgot I even ordered that.
I am absolutely
There's
sure.
definitely fabrics that she's going to get. She's forgotten all about.
There are some that I remember because I had ordered fabric for our Disneyland trip that got canceled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was in August. We were going to go to Disneyland.
But I had
Vegas.
fabric ordered.
We were going to do Disneyland in Vegas.
It was going to be the best holiday ever.
It was going to be awesome. And then I was gone. So.
Okay. Thoughts on Bjornfoot being full-time NHLer?
He's being eased in. There's no reason to have to rush him into it. I think he's been very good for them. And again, since he's a defenseman, you don't want to put him into situations too early. Third pairing, absolutely. I think he's good. I thought he was good last year too.
What's going on with the Sabres? It's getting bad. It's
getting worse. And the problem is now you've got Eichel looks disinterested. I know he's been hurt apparently too, but he just the intensity's not there. The fight back is not there. They and the Canucks are spitting images of one another. You have the Eastern Canucks and the Western Canucks, and the Sabres are Canucks East. It is really hard to watch because it's the same idea that as soon as they're behind 1-0, game's over. And it's that lack of fight back. It's that lack of being able to overcome adversity that's really tough to watch this year for Buffalo. I don't know how you fix it.
Will the Oilers re-sign Tyson Barrie even if Clef comes back?
They will offer Barrie a lot of money, or they'll offer him a good term and some kind of a no movement clause. Barrie has been fantastic. Now, the other way Tyson Barrie can look at this is he's racking up points and he's going to cash in this coming summer. And then I'm terrified that Jim Benning will back up a Brinks truck to him if that happens. So I really hope the Oilers keep him.
Thoughts on
Matthias
Ekholm to the Flyers. There's a report by The Atlantic that Flyers and Preds are talking in Predators scouting Flyers prospects.
It's possible. If Ekholm gets moved, he is going to be a steal for whoever gets him. Matthias Ekholm has been great. He has not had a great year this year for Nashville, but he's a very, very good defenseman.
There is not a regular time that we do live streams.
No.
There
used to be.
Yes.
During the offseason.
When there's no games. We try and have one on the weekend.
This weekend, there just wasn't anything on Saturday.
But
yesterday was wall-to-wall 14 games.
With a compressed schedule, it makes it really tricky. So that's what it is. We try to have one on the weekend. And this is when we were able to fit it in.
Yep. That was a sad cough.
I know, always.
That was sad. You got to use your diaphragm more.
Will the Hawks make playoffs over the Pens?
Well, the Pens are in a tougher division. That Eastern Division, a good team's going to miss the playoffs, and it's likely either going to be Pittsburgh or the Islanders, although the Caps have had their struggles at times. And there's 3 points separating first from fifth in that division? I could see that being a problem. Whereas the Hawks, I think they currently have a 5 or 7 point cushion over fifth in that division. They're in pretty good shape.
Oh, am I excited about my teams doing good? It is nice. It's a nice change.
Mine aren't.
I know. I just told him he should watch some of my teams because
you had a good night last night. I didn't.
I know. It was great. The Canucks are really sad right now.
I was like, all right, so Dallas has been destroyed again.
But at least Minnesota has been really fun to watch, which is a fantastic change because they are usually really boring. I'm sad that they don't get to play the Jets because those are the best games. Those are my favorite games to watch. So that's a bit sad. And the Jets are doing better. They're doing okay.
Yeah.
They're still right at that. Well, you can't tell if they're good or there's that full 60-minute game I'm looking for them. They're still making me kind of scared. Right?
But,
that's what I mean. They could be good almost, but it's more fun to watch when they're not losing all the time.
This is true.
It's a nice change. Can you post pictures of your daily power rankings somewhere? No, it's a surprise.
Yes.
I would like to make visualization of them to show long-term trends, if you're okay with that. It's a surprise.
I don't really see,
it's a secret.
Like today, I didn't make much movement at all. Pittsburgh dropped.
It's a secret.
Pittsburgh didn't show up today. They dropped, I think, 2 spots. That was terrible. And if that keeps up, there's going to be some more dropping going on. But the rest of them, I barely made much change. And then I might overthink it. That'd be the other problem if I'm sharing it with somebody else. Be like, oh wait, and then I'd overthink it. So that
sounds like a Shannon thing
because I definitely overthink at times. That's why I had power rankings the second week. It took me an hour and a half to actually get the board straightened out.
I think with the divisions and how it is this year has made it so much harder for you.
It is.
It makes you really second guess things now.
Absolutely.
Compared to previous years.
Yes.
Hey, Shannon, we have 2 cats and recently adopted a dog. They're becoming really good buddies. Do you think you might get a big buddy for your cats?
You should have seen them with the bunny earlier.
It was so fun.
Tiny bunny rabbit, and they were scared to death. She just walked up to them like, hey, what are you doing?
He doesn't care. The cats care.
Yeah, the cats were terrified, so I can't imagine them with a dog. We would never see the cats again.
4 cats, and we have 3 kids. And our house is not that large.
Bear and Shadow would hide. They could not handle a dog.
I don't think it would be fair to the dog. As much as we would love a dog, it wouldn't be fair to a dog.
Like Bear and Shadow,
they take time, and we have 4 cats.
These cats are very shy. Like, it took Shadow a month to see Yvonne, and it took more than that for Bear to accept Yvonne.
Oh my gosh, she used to just sit on the other side of the room and glare at me.
Time.
So funny.
It took years for her to fully accept Yvonne as being part of the house.
Jen, really? She's a sweet cat.
I mean, well, she's just sitting across
the room. She
room.
looks like she's trying to wish my death from over
and
there.
She was. As soon as Yvonne would leave,
mine.
Bear would be cuddling on my chest like, you don't need anybody. I'm right here. But she'd come over and then Bear would just sit and glare at her from across the room. And she wouldn't move. She wouldn't blink. She'd just glare the whole time.
It's my spot. I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Who's better, Morrissey or Bjork? I know it's controversial, but I say the Smiths. I don't know. They were quite great. I hope you understand this joke.
There's Anders Bjork in Buffalo. There's Josh Morrissey in Winnipeg. And then there's bands called Morrissey, and there's Bjork. She was the one that attacked the photographer.
I know who Bjork is.
Because the photographer was harassing Britney. So, see, Bjork was over at Britney's house. Do you remember that? No. She was over at Britney's house.
I don't watch the
photographer
thing.
went after her,
care.
So Bjork charged at her, and she yelled "Free Britney," and that's where the whole movement comes from. It started with Bjork. It's actually
are you making crap up, or
it's not very well known, but the whole thing started with Bjork.
Yes, you are making crap up. Got it. Early thoughts on Ilya Sorokin and Oliver Wahlstrom.
Sorokin was great tonight. Not tested a lot, but he was good. And I really liked Wahlstrom last year, and it made me look bad because people were like, who do you think's going to win the Calder? I'm like, well, I don't know, but I think Wahlstrom is going to be great. And then he sucked. And so I didn't want to heap praise him this year. I'm like, well, hopefully it comes around, and now it is. So Wahlstrom's looking pretty good.
Okay. Based on observation, which team's fans complain the most?
To me, it's Vancouver, but that's because I'm in contact most with Vancouver fans.
Right, but there are definitely... See, I don't think we want to share that just because people get mad, but there are definitely teams that we get a lot more whining from.
There's a lot of whining.
But
that's a sports thing, too.
But there are teams that we get a lot more. And it's not the least.
There are
as much as people usually get.
There are certain teams where, because she's always around the Discord, I'll actually go upstairs and warn her, and I'll say, "There's a game that's going on right now. The score is 6-1. Keep an eye on the Discord because fan base isn't going to be happy. The score is 6-1."
Meltdown.
So there's times where I'll let her know. By the way, there's a meltdown coming because there was a 5-minute penalty. There's a meltdown coming because somebody's goalie got run over. So I'll warn her that there's a fan base that could be descending on the Discord pretty quickly.
True story. How bad do you think things are for the Blue Jackets?
It's bad. I mean, you've got 8 wins in 23 games. That's miserable, and they don't seem to be pulling themselves out of it. Whatever boost they got from Roslovic and Laine, it hasn't lasted.
What would Gibson's stats look like on a half decent team?
He would have some of the best defensive stats. Like his save percentage would be so much higher. The Ducks definitely have some defensive issues.
How many box turtles with swords taped to their shells would you need to take over the world?
Now, that's a very interesting question.
You guys just like to encourage him.
It depends on the size of the swords. Now, if you're just talking about like katanas.
Her dog's in the room and she just did that.
Now, again, and with the turtles too, do they have like fully retractable claws? Because some turtles have retractable claws. Not saying adamantium, but I'm not saying adamantium either. So to take over the world, the answer is either 12, could be as little as 12 if you have the proper sword, or 8 billion. And it's somewhere in that region between 12
somewhere in there
and 8 billion. It depends on the swords, and again, the adamantium would be very helpful to them as well. It's only 12 if you have the right adamantium and sword.
Such a dork. Okay.
Oh
my gosh.
The doctor told you not to talk
to
me like that.
Oh, see, now he's getting in one of those moods. Okay, who do you think the top 5 defensive teams are in the NHL? Not a Canada team.
Islanders. Just for the structure they play. Tampa. Carolina. Nashville can be. Toronto's showing signs that they can be. I want to say Colorado, but I can't because they just make too many questions.
What you were doing.
Vegas, yeah, I would say Vegas. I'd put Vegas in that category.
Okay, I think. When the technology allows it, do you think the NHL will have an AI make certain calls such as offsides and goals?
I think they'll have it as a backup.
I think they should have something for goals.
I think they'll have it. I think they'll still have the referees and the linesmen make the call. But then when they say, all right, we need to do a replay, or that AI may be in place for goals, and the NHL might be more likely to have that horn blared, meaning that was a goal, more often than we see it now.
As a Caps fan, I complain a lot. I bet other fans do too on the Discord. I will try to be more active.
There's definitely complaint, but that's normal. Like I complain on Twitter. I have had whole threads on Twitter during Canuck games, and over my frustration with certain things. And it's not to whine. It's just they're better than that. If you don't think that your team is better than that, you don't complain.
Who do you think is better with Velarde, A or Kempe?
I really like the potential of Athanasiou and Velarde together. Athanasiou has explosive speed. If he can stay healthy, him and Velarde together could be fantastic.
I missed a super chat. Okay, I'll look for it just a second. It's past the cat's bedtime. Shh.
It is. Oh, and you've got stuff coming to you. So
Dave. Yes, I was going to message you.
Don't be surprised.
Because Shannon found stickers that don't.
So when you get something that you didn't order, don't be
stickers.
upset.
I should put these on my fridge.
I should send a picture to Shannon of these and thank him.
What contending team has the assets and cap space to acquire Eichel from Buffalo? Okay, let me.
Almost nobody has the cap space right now to acquire Eichel. You'd have to either have them take back money. The assets, it's going to have to wait until the offseason if they move them. But with $10 million, there are very, very few teams that have that money. Right now, nobody does. Nobody that's willing to make that move has that kind of money. Yeah. And right now there's just nobody.
Did I read that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did a good job.
Well, I know
good job.
I was told I'm missing one and I'm not seeing it.
You already asked me that one. And you asked me that one.
I know. Shannon.
What?
I don't see it. There, it's not on my screen. It's not where I can. Okay, Shannon.
What? You complain a lot.
Social distancing.
You complain a lot. Distancing. I am social distancing. I'm over here.
No, you're not.
I am.
Greetings from Las Vegas. Oh.
I miss Vegas.
So sad.
I miss going to the strip and just walking around.
Oh, that's sad.
And my wife walking around while I make videos. And then I go down to walk around with her after. I miss the Miracle Mile, the mall.
All the walking.
I miss the M&M store, the Coke store.
I miss going
Coca-Cola. I know it's Vegas, but we're talking about Coca-Cola here. Okay.
You gotta specify because people do ask.
It is Vegas, so
people ask.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah,
it's weird that people ask.
I miss all the tourist trappings of when we could be tourists. I miss it a lot. The next time we're able to go to Las Vegas, I plan to take probably half a day off from making videos to enjoy Vegas.
That'd be great. I vote for that.
So, yes. And then pile in like 8 videos that night when I'm panicked.
He would.
I didn't.
He totally would. And before we go on holiday, I suggest, why don't you record a couple videos and just post them when we're there? Will he do it? No. No, because he made the video, so got to post it now.
Yeah.
He won't do it. So for all of you suggesting, why don't you make some ahead of time? He won't do it. Been suggesting that forever. Won't happen. I suggested that when your channel was tiny and you were going to get your wisdom teeth out. Well, just do a couple beforehand, so then you don't have to worry about doing videos after your teeth pulled out.
I made videos when I got my teeth pulled out.
Still had to do the videos. Can't make it easier. No.
At least it showed me that when I need to get further dental work done, I don't need to take a day off. I don't have to worry about it.
It's ridiculous.
It's fine.
Okay. Do you enjoy listening to Brendan Burke, Islanders announcer? Islanders announcer also does games on NBCSN.
Yes. Very good announcer. Really, the play-by-play guys right now in the NHL, it's fantastic. Of course, Seattle gets the scoop of the year with John Forsland.
Why is that jersey all stretched out? It looks like a 52. Everybody else is like, what? Thoughts on Rod the Bod not playing?
Nedeljkovic.
I wouldn't have got that more.
I didn't the first 10
Raymer
times either.
hasn't looked great.
I think that for Brindamore, I think he has faith in Reimer being able to turn that around. I think the plan is to probably give Reimer 3 starts out of every 4 until Mrazek's back or until they figure something else out. He just doesn't seem to have faith in him.
I see people are saying that I miss super chats, but
I'm missing them all.
I scroll all the way up and I don't see any that I missed. It only lets me scroll up so far. And I can't see any that I missed in the whole. It only lets me
she's doing good.
Scroll up so far, and then doesn't have. So I'm sorry, I can't see them. They're not.
Yeah, it only holds on to them for a certain period of time, and then they're gone.
Yeah, it doesn't let me scroll up any further. I'm sorry. Who has the worst local broadcast team, and why is it Buffalo?
I wouldn't say it's Buffalo. I mean, Rick Jenneret is he's interesting, and he does sometimes botch some names. But I think Jack Edwards with Boston is aggravating. It is downright aggravating with him because the bias it's not just bias, it's an obnoxious one. I don't mind bias. Mickey Redmond's very biased. He's delightful. Jack Edwards, he's the play-by-play guy. You should not hear bias from the play-by-play guy that obviously.
Is it possible that Seattle takes Carey Price if he moves his no movement clause?
I can't see it because he's turning 34. It's a lot of money. I can't see Ron Francis wanting that contract.
Cover the stars for my podcast. I can't figure out why they're sucking so much. Help.
I don't think it's helped that they've had the blocks of time off. So first at the start of the year, and then they had another couple of games delayed. So they haven't really been able to get into a flow. I think they overachieved last season. And this is how Dallas works. They're a feast or famine team. I wouldn't be surprised if they win their next 6 games in a row and then follow that up with a 5-game losing streak. They're not very consistent.
Okay. Rod has alternated the 2 for the past couple weeks.
I would think, though, that he should be giving more to Nedeljkovic because, Reimer hasn't been as good.
What if Toronto goes back to Anaheim and trades Anderson for Gibby?
Oh, Anaheim's not touching that trade. They traded Anderson because they knew Gibson was the goalie of now and of the future, and Gibson's still young. So Anaheim, there's not very much in the way of untouchables, but I would think if they were going to be listening to trade offers, I think they'd trade Hampus Lindholm before they'd trade Gibson.
Kane for Hart, Blackhawks for playoffs.
If the Blackhawks make the playoffs, Patrick Kane will have a very good argument for the Hart Trophy. He's been absolutely fantastic. And so has DeBrincat. DeBrincat's been every bit as good as I hyped him to be 2 years ago. And then last year, he made me look bad. This year, not so much.
Could you do a video? Is it worth buying out Carey Price?
I talked about Carey Price in a video a couple days ago. I've done Carey Price videos every year. It's an annual thing. It's sort of like it's an annual right that every year I talk about Buffalo falling apart. And every year I think I talk about my frustration with the Canucks at least once. I mean, I could talk about buyout candidates and how difficult that is, sort of like I did with the Skinner video. I could definitely do something like that.
Leclerc career video with Kane about to pass him?
We'll see what I do with the career videos. I haven't really had the time lately. I even was surprised last night when I uploaded the power rankings to realize that I hadn't done a career video all week. So I just haven't had the time for it. I'm gonna do a Kane one because he's hit 400 goals, but the other retired players, it could be a while.
Who's the highest scoring Svechnikov over the last couple days? Also for
Grysical.
Grysical. That's his name.
No, Grace.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't
yeah,
recognize that one. That sounds like an unfortunate.
It was
name.
rough because he
Grace,
allowed
okay.
5 goals on 10 shots in the third period. And then he tried to smash the stick and it didn't smash. I half expected it to bounce off the top of the net and hit him in the face and knock him out.
Make you more mad.
Yeah, Evgeny Svechnikov, 2 goals in the last 2 games. He's looked good. Obviously, Andrei's still the best of the 2 brothers, but Evgeny played pretty well tonight.
Winnipeg's already ahead of Edmonton in
points percentage.
Do they have a shot at overtaking Toronto? How many turtles would that take?
I don't think they're going to overcome Toronto because I mean, Toronto would have to cool off as well. So Winnipeg would have to beat them in head-to-head matchups to really make that happen. For turtles, see, it gets tough because then you're talking about skating turtles. Skating turtles are a whole other aspect of the turtle kingdom that, see, and do they still have the swords? Because the swords would be difficult because they get stuck in the ice, and then you create these big divots in the ice.
Okay.
And swords can really damage ice. It's a really, really dangerous. Are they adamantium? Is the ice adamantium?
Shut it. What's the best way to get Shannon to notice my questions? Shannon
Yell them
doesn't
as you're
read
driving by out the window.
I read them. Shannon doesn't read them at all.
Yell them as you're driving by out the window.
And really, it's just kind of chance. There
are
so many comments.
I didn't understand the question. Sorry.
And when there's a lot of super chats,
I had problems answering all the questions 3 years ago when there was a lot less.
I'm sorry. We try.
I do my best. We do our best. That's why she reads the chat now, because it just got to the point where I couldn't.
At the end of the year, who do you think will have the better numbers, Carey Price or Jake Allen?
I still believe in Price. I still think by the end of the year, Carey Price will have the better overall numbers. That makes me crazy.
Would octopi be better than turtles for domination?
Okay, now the best thing with octopi is 8 arms. The problem is the suckers. So you're getting into the fact that they can't really put because those suckers, they suction cupped everything. So they would be suction cupping themselves to their tanks, to each other, to their swords.
The octopi always make me think of Lewis.
And turtles, you don't have that problem. So octopi, there's a lot of reasons to think octopi would be good, but those suction cups make it difficult.
Your top 5, bottom 5 goal horns.
I don't have a favorite goal horn. I really don't. I love the cannon in Columbus because I know it scares the hell out of some of the players. I don't really have a favorite goal horn.
This is how the kitty sleeps.
I really wish.
For all the comments that we get.
Yeah, she face plants. That's how she
sleeps with her face down. It's kind of like how some little kids always sleep with their little bum in the air.
It's to block the light out.
That's just how she sleeps.
Because she doesn't sleep like that at night. That's to block the light out.
It's just on the tree.
That's to make it dark.
And somebody was asking, this is Bear, and this is Shadow, and you can't see the other 2 kitties. You can see them on the kitty Instagram.
They follow me everywhere. That's why we have a cat tree. If we didn't have a cat tree, they would be at my feet constantly.
Meowing.
Yes.
Because they're
saying we don't have anywhere
princesses.
To sit. They're not spoiled. They're wonderful kitties.
Spoiled princesses.
They're not spoiled.
They're spoiled princesses.
They're wonderful cats.
You can only pick one to make the playoffs at the end of the year. Islanders or Penguins?
You know what? I would say Penguins only because with the Islanders, that defensive style, I think the Penguins are more entertaining, and I think the whole Crosby narrative, and then we could get Pittsburgh and Washington again. So that would be my pick.
You got a pair.
We should probably go pretty quick though, because we have children and all that other wonderful stuff.
That's true. Wearing that jersey, you should be answering questions in French while holding a bag of potatoes. And somebody asked if
Yvonne's
you speak
the
French.
master of the potatoes.
We both speak French.
Oué la bark bark.
Because we both had to take French in school because Canada.
See.
So, but not very fluent. I used to speak French with my brother, and since she passed away, she passed away when Gabriel was
in French
2.
That's grandmother.
So it's been 12 years. So my French has gone seriously downhill.
That's why I always test your French.
He does. By slaughtering the language.
Throwing in some French words and putting them in the wrong order every time.
Yeah.
So you have to try to figure out what I'm trying to say.
to pretend he's speaking French, but he totally slaughters the language. But he always uses words that are actual words that are not.
Yeah. So that happens.
No. So, yeah.
All right. Anyways, people, we should probably get going. But thank you guys for coming out. This was fun. I'll try to figure out a way to do this on a Saturday, because that's the optimal day. But if the game's on, I'm taking notes, and it doesn't work, the live streams during games.
Yesterday there was only that tiny bit of time, so you did.
And I had to do the treadmill for half an hour just in between. So yeah. But anyways, everybody take care. Thanks for coming out. And we will do this again next week. And we have Patreon and member live stream tomorrow. I'm going to say probably 2:00.
Okay. And then we have the Patreon Zoom
on Sunday.
Next week on Sunday.
We'll
figure out what time for that too.
Yeah. So we'll get all that information out to patrons and members as soon as possible. All right. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for all your support. And we'll do this again soon.